So nobody likes this part of the videos. I don't think you can see it. I tried to edit it where you can't see it, but I'm out getting the chicken. I'm gonna bring it back. There he is. Put him in. I'm sticking his, trying to get his head down into the hole in the bottom of the kill cone, they're called. I had to use my turkey kill cone because these birds were pretty large and wouldn't fit in my other cone. So once he's in there, I slices the vein in his neck, artery, and allow them to bleed. My processing methods I learned from Justin Rhodes. Some of his chicken processing videos, they're very good and quite informative. Throughout this video, I noticed some, you could call them less than desirable sounds. So I will put some music to this somehow. And if I don't, I'm sorry, but these are the sounds that are real life. So this is a pot of water that I basically blanched the chickens in so that the feathers and the feathers come off easily to pluck them. Only takes a few seconds, maybe 10 seconds, depending on how hot the water is. Stirring up to try to make the feathers not waterproof anymore. They're kind of water resistant at first. I'm testing the skin on the foot, because when the foot skin peels up easily, rubs off, that's when it's done. And see, feathers come out pretty easy. I'm draining a little bit of it. Oh. And then taking it over to the plucker. Got to turn on the water to the plucker and turn the plucker on. These machines save so much time and energy. If you don't have one, and you're going to be doing chicken, I highly recommend you get one. This one I got at Tractor Supply for a little over $400. A couple seconds, maybe 10 seconds in the plucker, and no more feathers. Pretty clean. Sometimes you get a couple pin feathers or some feathers under the wings. They're very easily removed, like I'm doing now. Cutting the legs off, the bottom legs, or feet, I should say. You cut the tendon, snap it, and then you continue to cut through. So you cut basically the knee tendon at the joint. It's hard to find all the time exactly right, but just cut it off. And I'm cutting around the neck to strip that of the skin. I take a little time to do this because I don't want to cut into the crop on accident and make a mess. I fed these chickens the morning that I harvested them, processed them. So usually I don't because the crop is empty, but this time the crop is very full. So I had to kind of work around that. Stripping the skin off. Sometimes it's harder than you think. Cleaning up around the neck. Separating the crop from the neck area. That's the crop I'm peeling off. Just getting rid of the excess skin. So that's all disconnected, and now I usually cut the neck off at that point, but I didn't, so either one works. You have to just come back and do it. So you cut into the cavity above the anal vent, and then I made that a little bit wider opening so my hand can fit in. And I put my hand in, kind of disconnect all the membranes inside the cavity. Then I pull out the crop. Because I don't want the potential for all that stuff inside of it to break open inside the cavity. And I cut off the neck. Here I'm just telling you, cut it not that way, but that way. Not that way, but that way. That way you don't have any sharp edges to potentially puncture the bag that you put them in later. So you excavate the internals. I'm cutting the livers off of the gallbladder, which is a green little sac that has surprisingly bright green fluid in it, bile. You don't want that to get on the meat. I guess it makes it taste pretty bad. I've not tasted it with that on it yet, so I'm going by what I've learned. Rinsing them off. Excuse me. Put them in the cooler in a little dish. And then inside here, just getting all this stuff out. And then I'm going to be cutting down each side of the vent. So down one side of the vent, and then down the other side of the vent. I'll move the camera in a second. So down the other side of the vent, and then you cut across behind the vent or higher than the vent. So you're basically cutting the vent out with the intestines in place. intact. That way you don't get any contamination. The lungs are always fun. These are I'm getting out the heart and the esophagus. They're coming out now. Well, I think they did. Anyway, the lungs are hard to get out. You have to kind of pry them out and slowly just pry them up from the cavity walls. There's the esophagus. They can be a little challenging. They make a tool that I'm going to try to get in the future, but they're not too bad. You get good at it after a while. You kind of just got to claw it out and slowly pull it up, and it'll come loose. Then I guess the kidneys taken out toward the end. And I rinse it off. And take out some leftover strings that I don't like. And I'll put that in the cooler. Another thing I need to share is I learned that rigor mortis sets in on these birds. If you harvest them fresh and cook them fresh, they'll be tougher when you eat them. So I put them in ice cold water with ice in it, and then that cools off the body enough to put in the freezer so it freezes them, and that eliminates the rigor mortis effects on the meat. Just a little tidbit I picked up. All right, we are bagging chickens today. So harvested them already, cleaned them up. They're in the cooler right there. We're gonna bag them in these heat shrink bags, and I'll show you how to do that. Oh, I gotta get my straw. Hang on a minute. The straw helps get the air out of the bag. All right, so we get the chicken out. The water needs to be at like 180 degrees or so, 170, 180. It's about 190 right now, which is good because these are cold, and it's gonna reduce the temperature quite quickly of the chicken. There's the chicken right here. Put it head down in the bag. A little hard to do. Okay. Put the straw in the cavity. It just allows air to escape the bag. Close it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of twist. Turn you around here. Actually, I'll move you right here. Let's see if you can see that. Oh. Okay. Yes, you can. So, that's up. Oh, that shut off. Good. Still at the temperature, but still shut off. Alright. Dip this down for about 10 seconds, they say here, less. It's hot. hot water. Okay. Woo. And that's it. It shrinks down around them. Take this out. And then I'll twist it. Twist it. There's a twist tie on it. The bags came with those. Not a twist tie, sorry. A zip tie. Get on there. Come on. Tight. And there you go. One chicken bagged. Put it back in here. One more. Let's do one more, and then I'll get the clip on, okay? Okay. Chicken's in the bag. Straw in here. These are bigger chickens than my previous batch was. So, let me have this thing. This is what I use this for. I'm gonna burn my hands. Like that. Okay, lift it up. Twist. I don't wanna burn myself. It's really hot water. It's almost, not quite boiling, almost boiling. So that's it. I'm gonna get a zip tie. And chicken. There we go. Vacuum packed. That's how I do it.